Hi again, Federation Retailers. It's me, Nathan Hall, again with the Federation's 12 Days of Christmas Day 5. Day 4 yesterday, we of course spoke about beer with Molson Coors, an absolutely brilliant video, some great insight shared with Aman and Hanish. And we're talking to Pernod Ricard today about spirit sales, which is an absolute crucial segment to convenience at Christmas. Gin, rum, vodka, it's so important. So these guys are the experts. They're going to share some real insight into the category. Let's dive into it and introduce you guys to them. So welcome, Mark and Sasi, to the Fed Talks. Fantastic to have you on. I think it's debut for both of you guys. So before we dive into spirits this winter, let's introduce you guys. Mark, can you tell me about your role at Pernod Ricard? And then Sasi, can you tell us about your retailing history in your store as well?
Yeah, sure. My name is Mark Herbert. I run the wholesale business and the impulse business here at Pernod Ricard. I've been doing that for the last 3 or 4 years. Fair to say it's an all-encompassing role and dealing with lots of customers that are forever changing. Prior to that, I've another 10 years at Pernod Ricard, dealing in a variety of grocery roles, field sales roles, and in the on-trade. So I bring a fairly broad experience of the spirits market in the UK across all channels.
Fantastic. And Sasi?
Hi, I'm Sasi Patel. I'm a retailer from the Northwest. Currently I have 5 sites, 2 in Rochdale, 1 in Ashton, 1 in Bacup, and just in the middle of an acquisition in Bury. We trade under the Parfex fascia groups of the local and Go Local Extra. I was one of the second retailers to have their standalone alcohol proposition, the local. And then obviously we've got one of their flagship stores. Well, I've got 2 of their flagship stores in Go Local Extra as well.
Fantastic. Good to have you on. Now let's talk spirits. Now, Christmas time, we all love a treat, some alcohol. For me, it's gin. I'm a big fan of the Beefeater brand. So let's dive into spirit sales. Mark, can you share with us what can our retailers expect and how can they really capitalise on the Christmas opportunity this year?
Yeah, really good question. I think probably the best way to start is 12 months ago when we were heading towards Christmas and all of a sudden we were thrown into lockdown and Christmas didn't really happen for large parts of the country. I think what we'll see as a result of that this year is a real interest in social events, a real interest in family time, and a real interest in parties. One of the effects we've seen during lockdown is a real interest or a growing interest in cocktails, cocktail making, particularly at home. The convenience sector came through that period really strongly, and actually spirits growth over the last 12 months has been double-digit in the main. And in premium spirits, it's been twice that, so more than 20% growth in premium spirits across that period of time. So I would expect that to continue as the on-trade opens. We haven't seen everybody deserting a convenience sector and going back to the on-trade. We've seen maintained footfall, which is great, and we know that there's a strong interest in cocktails still. So those spirits that are used in cocktail bases will be really important this winter as people go to parties, people go to social events. We also know that convenience comes to its own when people are on their way to a party. So a really strong percentage, something like 70% of spirits bought in convenience are taken somewhere else and consumed pretty quickly. So the real opportunity here in spirits is that on the go. But that's not to forget also, as you move into Christmas, big trend towards gifting and big trends also in NPD. The level of interest in NPD in spirits is as high as it's ever been. And therefore, we've got to make sure that we're stocking the right lines to be gifted at Christmas. And that can mean a move away from price mark packs, because actually gifting is not necessarily fully aligned with the idea behind price mark packs at this time of year. But also making sure that we're stocking something new, because as you do go to parties and as you do go give gifts, something new and something premium is usually the order of the day. Okay, Sasi, do you see some of those trends in your stores?
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. I think you've hit the nail on the head in terms of home drinking. I mean, the pandemic in itself, what it did do was create a massive opportunity with home bars. And what we've seen is a huge uplift in premium spirits, because I think every neighbour is in competition with themselves around the local areas to see who's got the best bar, and they're obviously having everyone round. I think Christmas this year is going to be relatively special when it comes to spirits, because premium has been on a massive increase so far. And I think the home bar opportunity is only going to make that even better, because everyone wants to have the best bar and everyone wants to have the best host, you know. So I think that your everyday brands that you guys do, the likes of Malibu and Martell, and you know the basic core range. I think what we have seen is a definite shift into the premium market. I mean, from your product file, Pernod, Malty, Redbreast, Martell, Malibu, Chivas, Beefeater, Jameson, Havana Club, Absolute, Monkey 47, Aberlour Single Malt. They're the ones I can think of the top of my head that I know that I list across all my sites. And then in the local, we've pushed the boat out even further, and we've gone in a bit more narrow and deep on some of your specialty range. But I think you've got a great portfolio of products, and obviously working with your field team makes it a lot easier. I think the other thing I would say as well is I'm always reassessing my actual range. I'm always looking at my current portfolio in terms of spirits, and I'm looking at where I can innovate, what can I do to move that forward. I'm always in discussion with the buyers at Parfex in terms of thinking out of the box. When I see something on trend in TikTok, for example, I'll constantly be hassling the buyer to get it in through the supply chain. And I know you guys work really close with Parfex as well. So generally, when we ask, we see a very quick reaction as well. So that's very good. And they're, you know, you guys as well as Parfex are always willing to share best practice and give us a nudge in the right direction. So yeah, really good.
Amazing.
Good.
And then let's talk about you know, trends. What can we expect to see grow this year? For me at Christmas, I touched on it earlier. It's gin for me. I love a bit of gin. So are we expecting any growth or trends, Mark? Can you share any insight?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Last Christmas was very much a gin Christmas, as was the Christmas before, led by flavors. There was a cacophony of new flavors out there, which kept levels of interest from consumers really, really high. I think this year gin will still be very important. I don't think we'll see the growth this year that we've seen in the last 2 years. And the latest data would suggest that the next emerging flavors would be flavored vodka at a premium level. And also you would expect to see rum continue to grow. So spiced rums and flavored rums seem to be tracking really well on the latest data reports. I'd also reiterate what we mentioned before, the cocktail trend at home. It might mean that we need to stock a broader range of spirits rather than traditional vodka, gin, whiskey, because cocktails usually have multiple ingredients in them. So very, very important that we carry things like coffee liqueurs. We've got Kahlua in our portfolio. Very important that you carry more range in your flavoured vodka, which seem to be tracking really well this year. There's pretty great ones out there, and we've got Absolute, which has got a really strong flavour portfolio. But things like AU vodka are sold really well in the last year, and we expect to see flavoured vodka continue to grow. We've launched Havana Club Spiced this year, and we've done a lot of work with Havana Club 7-Year-Old, which is a rum. We had a tie-up with music artist Skepta in the last 12 months, which has been really great, launching limited edition bottles, helping bring a bit more excitement to the rum category, and that seems to be tracking well for us.
Brilliant.
You seeing the same?
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, Mark. I think the limited edition bottle earlier on in the year did fantastically well, especially with the fan club that they have around that brand. So that did really well. 100% the spiced rums are doing well. I mean, the Red Beast that I've got in, you know, again, it's a speciality one. That's done really well. The rum itself now is demanding more space on the shelf, so you can see that the category is growing. I echo your testament around AU vodka. I mean, Cherry came out the other week. We got behind it with about 6-7 cases per store. And by the weekend, you know, we had our little TikTok video put out, and social media just drove people. They flooded in for it. You know, they literally have done. Yeah, so I would definitely say that. I think the other one, Mark, and you sort of touched on it earlier, was gifting. I do hampers at Christmas, bespoke hampers. So we get a little sign out, which will be out in the next couple of weeks, which is basically letting customers know if you've got someone who's a gin lover or a rum lover, we can make you a little bespoke hamper. And what we tend to do is flood them with miniatures as well as the 35 CLs. And you guys do that really well. So you've got a lot of premium available in a smaller format, which makes it more affordable for the people to play and try that category. So yeah, that's definitely one I would recommend the retailers to get behind. It's so easy to do as well.
Great. And just before we finish off, can you share, Mark, obviously independents will be watching this video, what are Pernod Ricard doing this winter to support these independent retailers?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's great to hear that Sasi has been called on by our field sales team. I'll have to give those guys a big shout out. So we've recruited a team that calls on 4,000 independent retailers across the UK. That's something we've done in the last 8 months. It's been a real success for us. The ability to talk directly to retailers, to understand directly from them what they need and how we can help. I think traditionally we were a little focused on wholesalers, but that balance is now switching absolutely into what the retailer wants. The field team are out there delivering festive POS. We've got 2 banners that we're putting out there this year, which are mixed with a festive favourite, which is all about cocktail ingredients, which typically are quite high margin and allow decent margin opportunities for retailers. And we've also got discover a gift worth sharing, which, to the point you just made then, Sasi, leans into, can I buy a good gift in my local store for somebody that I care dearly about? And the answer is yes. We don't have to look too far. It's there. It's in our local high street around the corner from us. So lots of POS will be out in store. I would also say, typically and traditionally, as you'd know, our strongest promotions are at Christmas, or in the Christmas period. I don't always see retailers passing on the full promotional benefit they get from their wholesalers, and obviously that's a decision that they can make independently. But what we do know is there's a big correlation between price and price parity to grocery and rate of sale. So we would encourage our field team to talk to retailers about whether there is a promotional price that we can get to and still maintain the margins that you need to in order to drive interest and rate of sale in store. And thirdly, a couple of times, TikTok. Social media is really, really important and continues to grow in importance in spirits and in drinks in general. Being able to create short videos on how to make really great drinks in your party or your Christmas dinner at home, whatever the social occasion it is that you're going to, bring in a bit of confidence to help us understand how to make strong cocktails is something that we work really on with our social team, with our social media team.
Fantastic, Mark. Mark and Sasi, thank you for joining us today on the Fed Talks. Just before we finish things off, Sasi, obviously lots of retailers watching. If you could give one piece of advice for this winter to these guys, what would it be?
I'll give 2. Get behind cocktail. Mark's touched on it a lot. I've got a meter bay in both my shops where you've got ready-made cocktails as well as make-home cocktails with all the accessories and everything. Really good margins available. But the bigger one is be brave. Take that risk, because sometimes as a retailer, you stick to what you know. But our consumers have got the highest level of confidence in local community stores right now off the back of COVID. Play into that. Play with the category. Most wholesalers will do a sale or return. If you try it and it doesn't work, you can give it back after Christmas. What I can tell you is if it's not on your shelf, you're not going to sell it. So get it on your shelf.
Amazing, fantastic knowledge shared there again. Sasi, Mark, thank you for joining again. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy Christmas. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
Happy Christmas.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you again to Sasi and Mark for joining us. Another brilliant video today, and tomorrow we've got a bit of a Pernod Ricard double whammy because we're talking about Pernod again, but this time not spirits, we're talking wine, which is again crucial. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.